Well, good evening, YouTube, and why don't we begin with the question, how could this have even happened to the Sharks tonight? Because I think that's an interesting question, and it doesn't make sense at first. Like, there's a lot of different things that go through your mind. Let's simplify it. The Sharks made some third-period mistakes, and Las Vegas is really that good. They've got 20 wins in their first 27 games of this season. You cannot allow the margin of error to be sizable at all against a team like Las Vegas. Now, don't get me wrong. 2-goal lead, 20 minutes to play, momentum on your side. This should have been a Sharks win. It seemed like they were all lined up for it. It seemed like they were going to break that streak of Las Vegas always winning when they score first. Did I jinx it? Come on. I'm going to do a whole separate video someday on the idea of jinxing a sports game as it goes on. 10-minute timer is underway. Just hit that button right there. And yeah, I mean, look, first off, we're having some fun here on television. I already got the shutout jinxed. Took care of that in the second period. Then they scored 3 more times. But who could have seen that third period coming? I really don't even know where to start. The Sharks this year 0-4-1 against Las Vegas. Both of these last 2 games that they just played easily could have won both. Now tonight they had a little bit more of a handle on the game. Their first ever lead of this season against Las Vegas happened in the second period. Love the fact that Mario Ferraro got a goal. Timo Meier involved in some playmaking with Matt Nieto. That was the first goal. And then Kevin Labanc scored that third goal to make it 3-1. And then there was also the disallowed goal for Las Vegas, right? Because William Carrier was all over Devan Dubnyk. So the Ryan Reeves goal, by the way, he did score in the third period, first of the season. But all that goodness of the second period, and you're just thinking, all right, 20 minutes away from, sealing this thing off, and there was no reason to believe that the Sharks would let it slip like they did in the third period. Allowing some, loose change out front for Cody Glass. That was on the power play. Haig in the high slot. That made it 3-3. And then I have to say about the Ryan Reeves goal, I didn't elaborate well enough on television about this, but Knyzhov was all over Reeves' back. I mean, he was marking him just fine. How he was able to redirect that thing 25 feet away from the crease and kind of have it go over Dubnyk's arm, it just, I hate saying, well, that was a lucky goal. I hate saying that, but I didn't see that coming. And I don't know if he could replicate that again. But if you're San Jose, and I think this was spoken about after the game, well, it was by Bob Boughner to have a too many men penalty to kind of kick off the third period. That was 6 minutes, 38 seconds in. What did they score, instantly after that? And so that made it a 3-2 game. All of a sudden, Las Vegas has life. The Haig goal makes it 3-3. And then the Reeves tip gives them the almost unbelievable lead. And I have to say that it is kind of amazing that in 5 games, the Sharks have basically led for only half of one period. And all the other 14 periods, Las Vegas either enjoyed a lead or a game that had no score yet. So it has been quite one-sided between these two teams this season. I've got to say. And part of that is, let's be honest, part of that is the Sharks' struggle. But the other part about that, and like tonight's game, if you have a 2-goal lead like this on Anaheim, they're probably not coming back. No disrespect. Same thing with the LA Kings. I mean, maybe even same thing with Arizona. Maybe same thing with Minnesota, although I don't know. But you have a situation like this against Las Vegas, and I mean, it is literally not over until it's done, So I think looking at a couple positives, let me extract those before I, have to settle back into the bigger picture here. And, 2 losses in a row, 2 frustrating ones in a row. Mario Ferraro, a goal, an assist tonight. I know he caught a kind of a bad break. He was defending Cody Glass on the PK. when he scored. Just couldn't tie up Glass's stick, couldn't clear the puck. So frustrating there. But a really good game for Ferraro. I do think that culture for this team showed off in the third period. And you heard Logan say afterwards that Marchessault was kind of going after Kevin Labanc. He was trying to egg him on. Banker wouldn't do it. He was getting chased around. So Logan said, "I'll fight you." And he did. And right before that, Tomas Hertl saw the hit that Mark Stone, their captain, laid on Timo Meier. So he went right after Mark Stone. First off, Tomas Hertl, 473 NHL games played. I think 474 now. First fight. And watching Hertl fight was almost surreal. Like, what? Like, what? Huh? What? Huh? Hope you like that. I mean, honestly, it's just not, it's not in Tomas Hertl's calling card. Obviously. But that's the thing about it. I like the fact that he didn't like something and stood up for it. I like the fact that Logan was out there too and didn't pass up on an opportunity. And those are the things you see, the messages you see. And like I said, big picture, is this team unraveling or are they coming together? That's a sign that even despite the result tonight, they're coming together, literally fighting for one another. And that's a good thing based on where they've been. And the final point here about positives to extract would be this. I mean, you take the way the Sharks played against Las Vegas Monday and tonight. And what if I told you they could play that way for the next 3 weeks straight? Would you take it? Yeah, of course. Like I said, that effort tonight, not the result, clearly, and not the execution, clearly, but take that effort, that compete, and keep putting that back into some more games, and you're going to get the result. And the execution is going to be part of that. So that was a frustrating game. Going back to what I jinxed, apparently. Las Vegas 15-0-1 when they score first. And that was kind of the theme of the first period. Here we go again. Sharks were doing enough things right, but Las Vegas had already been on 3 power plays. Handemark for a high stick, Knyzhov for a hooking, and Banker with a delay of game penalty. So they had spent a ton of time on the man advantage, but they already scored 3:45 into the game. Shea Theodore with a shot that, not exactly sure. I don't know how it got in. I'm sure there's, again, I'm not the goalie. I'm just saying it wasn't Shea Theodore's best goal, but again, you played well enough to at least be tied, if not maybe have a lead, create some chances, had some buzz. You're in the game and you're trailing. Thinking, oh man. And that's why we were saying during first intermission, if the dam can just break for the Sharks on Fleury, I would love to see where it goes from there. Again, just the 3 goals. I love, Nieto right out front, angling the stick blade. Timo found him. I mean, the pass was beautiful, and the finesse by Nieto for his 5th goal was great. Love the fact that Ferraro was behind the cage, was able to quickly get one that bounced off the inboards and tuck it behind Fleury before he could go from right to left. And then Kevin Labanc kind of with some loose change out front to make it 3-1. So, rough contest. I'm always here for these videos. I sometimes don't know what the desire to hear about the game is or the response is. So, with that said, let me hit up the chat section here. How's the little crib monkey doing? My son? I don't know. I'll find out when I go inside here in just a second. Despite the high-scoring game, I can't think of any goals that were really special, lots of tips and screens and stuff. I don't know. I thought Chase, the Ferraro goal, was very skillful. You could clearly see how excited he was. And the Banker goal, I actually think the Nieto goal was, smoother in terms of the pass and the deflection right out front. What do you think the chances are that Hertl gets a FaceTime from Jumbo congratulating him on his first fight? Hey, Hertzbud, hey, you dropped the gloves, hey, first time for the boys, hey. See, when I do it here, it doesn't work. Something about the studio. This microphone does not let me do Jumbo impersonations. Costa, feelings on the game and how do I think Doobie played? Was not probably Dubnyk's best night. I think he bailed him out enough. I've seen more of it lately. I guess what it is we've seen him, and in the Jones start recently, we've seen such a high bar and a high threshold. Even last game, we saw a level that was pretty spectacular. Matching that's difficult. I don't think we saw that matched tonight. It's not to say that Dubnyk was bad. And I also think too, when you look at 4 Las Vegas goals in the third period, 2 of them on power plays. And the Sharks had a power play opportunity in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. Las Vegas had 3 in the first alone, and then 2 more in the third. And that's where they turned this game around. So hard to really analyze Dubnyk too much. Was he good enough? Probably. Have we seen better? Yeah. Brody, I stayed up late to watch you. I work at 5:30. I'll give you something good, Julio. You know what? And that's the thing. I sometimes look at the game and then I think about doing this video and I'm like, man, there's just nothing but negativity. And I'm trying to help you see through things. I'm trying to help you talk out some things. It's not always, there you go. It's not always easy to make these exciting, but what I do hope to do is I'll make them interesting at least. You saw me do the A's segment. Oh, you know what? Yari, if I'm saying that right? The A's show that you saw tonight on NBC Sports was actually taped yesterday. So there you go. I was an off day for the Sharks. I went into the studio, changed into baseball mode, and that I didn't realize that was going to air after our post-game show. I apologize that people had to watch me back-to-back doing Sharks post-game and then A's preview. So there you go. Seriously, Sour Pig. That is awesome. Yeah, so on the channel here, when you're done watching me with this in the live stream, when you're done, bored by this, I did an ASMR video that was it published yesterday? I think so. And so I did ASMR. Do you want live ASMR right now? Because I can do that for you if you want. Some of you are going to have to turn up your volume right now so you can hear me. Anyway, sorry. I'll give you a second to adjust the volume. Yes, I did do an ASMR video as for parody. No, was I serious? I didn't want to screw it up, but I knew it was going to be, entertainment and laughed at more than anything else. Finally, a time that I didn't get scared by the timer. When I generally can see it coming, I have a heads up, but it's just the way that it's really loud in my headphones versus my microphone volume. Do I take a pregame nap like the boys? I wish my life would allow for that. Although I will say, was that Monday? I actually think I did on Monday. Look, generally game days, I'm busy, every day. But I'm, trying to help out, be a dad as much as possible during the daytime hours, get stuff done. So, yeah. Not always. I used to be honest, back in the day when I had less responsibilities, definitely. Yeah, you would think that Tommy Wingles might be texting Hertz, and Tommy's still watching stuff. I got to reconnect with Tommy Wingles, by the way. It'd be great to have him on as a guest appearance for pre- and post-game live. I agree with you. Well, it wasn't really an own goal. If I'm thinking what you're thinking, that was the Cody Glass goal where he couldn't. He was out front, couldn't tie him up. Has Brownie won any NHL awards? Is that a chirp? It's a chirp from Big Bird. He's kind of a Lady Bing type guy. He's just very, very Switzerland, not going to fight anybody, play by the rules. He's not going to be the best. I'm just kidding. If there was an award for face-offs, Brownie would win that. He would have won that as a player. Chase, I think that's a great point. The Sharks can really build off the responses tonight. And teammates come together, and they put some games together. That's, honestly, look, playoffs, logistically, not impossible, but getting realistically more impossible. Just the longer, we get. Friday, by the way, after Friday's game, we're at the halfway point of this regular season. But I think the point is that, like I said, if you're putting together these efforts, put together the efforts, the execution, and the results will come as a result of that. Because not every time has the effort necessarily been there. Jackson, I'll be all over the Tommy Wingels interview. Yeah. Well, you know what? I connected with him during the pandemic. I know he was a busy man. He called it quits from hockey. We'll definitely have him on. He's such a good interview. Such a good dude. In fact, you know what? I'm texting him tomorrow. Simple as that. Girlfriend wants to know why you eat dinner so late. I'm just so busy during the game, and I get to work at, say, 5:30, something like that, 5:15, 5:30, 6:30 show. So it's just not the opportunity. And it's easier, to be honest. Whole pandemic situation, our kitchen's not open for eating at work. It's so much easier for me to just leave the food at home. I can tough it out for a few extra hours. Last couple of things here. Peter, as a Cowboys fan, you're curious to hear my prediction for this year's 49ers. Honestly, Peter, even though I was named after 49er quarterback John Brodie, I am not an authority to give you any kind of prediction, especially after being in the Super Bowl 2 years ago and then kind of imploding this past year. I got no clue. Did they just re-sign somebody called Juice? Did they? See, I have to ask, honestly. So I think if you win the next couple of games that you're right back in this run. I will say this. You can lose ground and you can gain ground in this season way faster than normal. This season is on steroids, basically, because you're all division games. That being said, I think at this point, to be in serious contention, it's going to require a ridiculous run. Like not just for 1 week, not just for two, like literally the rest of the way. So, and that's true also. Look, I mean, St. Louis, those top four teams, they've been really good so far. St. Louis, Minnesota, the Avs, and Golden Knights. And by the way, Minnesota kind of emerged in that top four conversation. Was a top three. Now they're in there too. But hey, look, like I said, take what you've been doing. Don't vary from that. Don't falter from that. Apply it towards these two games against St. Louis and see where it lands you. Jackson, I appreciate you for being here. Chase, I appreciate you for being here too. Zach, the Sharks leadership, third period. When was the last time you saw the Sharks' top two centermen dropping the gloves 5 minutes apart? Somebody said earlier on social, there was a game, and I think this is correct, against the Ducks, where Jumbo and Pavelski both fought. Now, granted, they might have been, top line mates together. But yeah, it would be the same type thing. So I really think that was a statement in itself tonight. Really enjoy the post game. I guess it's the post game live. If I were ever to theme these live streams, I think that's what I'd call it. Post game live. The last and final word before I go to bed on Sharks hockey. All right. So, hey, you know what? I really appreciate everybody for being here tonight. Again, despite the results, these are not necessarily the more fun live streams to do. That being said, I think it all just goes to show you why I'm here, why you're here. You love sports, you love hockey, you love the deeper conversation. That's what I want to make these about. I know there are some pundits out there, some media platforms where this is the opportunity to just bag on people, to rip them apart. I'm not gonna disguise results. I'm not gonna disguise poor performance. But I'd rather help everybody see the deeper layers and levels and connect things that maybe were just loose thoughts before. So that's what I'm always trying to do here on the live stream. I hope everybody has a great Thursday. I will see you on Friday and Saturday. And guess what? Next time I do one of these live streams, it'll be post-game at the Tank. That's right, we're there Friday and Saturday for our shows. Good night, everybody.